Hello everyone, this is Tina. In this video, I'm going to cover useMemo. So first thing, let's take a look at why do we need to use memo. Okay, we have a scenario which here has an expensive component. In this expensive component, we have lots of what? We have a computation, and this is very expensive. Okay. And this expensive component depends on the number passed from the parent. So let me just implement it. Okay. useMemo. I will have another which is called useMemo demo. Okay, and in the demo I use memo hook. What I used there? Memo hook. Okay, and this one that's another component. My bad. Should be tsx. Rename dot tsx. tsc, not tsc. My bad. tsx. Okay, and we have another component which is called expensive component dot tsx. Okay. In this hook, you will see we are going to do the same thing as before. Okay, this one LFC to make sure there's no errors. I need to restart the application. We are going to do the same as we did before, our famous counter. Okay, so const count set count. I'm going to do a little bit fast now, hopefully. And here I'm going to have what? I'm going to have h1 have a count, display this count. Okay, and then I'm going to have a button as before to make sure we are going to update on my parent. So here I will have a set no, it's a function. So here we'll have a set count. Set count is a count plus 1, and then here I'm going to have an expensive component. For this expensive component, we are going to based on, we will pass a number which is this count. Okay, number pass this count here. Okay, and for this number I'm going to do is a number, and here I will directly give a prop TypeScript type which is a number. Okay, like this way. Which I didn't. This is how to add a type in TypeScript using column. Okay, and the props is an object. And for this expensive calculation, I'm going to just copy it. Okay, and this could be you have a real scenario. Yes, what? Oh my goodness. Doesn't. Cannot copy, so I'm going to write. This is a computer value just from 1 to something, okay, which is super large. Okay, so I'm going to do is here write it. Okay, so compute value equals function. This function going to do is do a loop which for let I equals 0, I less than This is to mimic a behavior. It's going to process very long. Okay, potentially in real scenario, you're gonna probably make a fetch to the server side, you know, perform some expensive time consuming IOs. Okay, here we will have a let sum, not here, here let result equals 1. Okay, and here we are going to do is result multiply equal to what? Equals to I multiply plus equal I multiply number. Okay, number. Okay, then eventually I return this result. This is to make sure, oh, let's start with 0, no problem here, because I'm plus. This to make sure this compute value function here is just to make sure what? Just to make sure this one gonna do some time consuming, okay? No real logic. So here I'm going to display computed value inside our child component. That's it, okay? This is one, and this is our hook. So I'm going to add into my, going to add into my parent memo hook, okay? And as you guys can see here, gonna be 0 by default because this one is 0. Everything is 0, okay? And the +1, you're gonna have 1 +2, gonna have 1 +2. But here, if I have another thing, suppose if let me have another change, okay? Let me have another const. I'll do another one, okay? This one cannot remember. Set number equals use state, which is 0. And here I'm going to have a change on the number. Change on the number +1. This is a count +1. Okay, so here I'm going to use this number, okay? And then I'm going to do is here I will use what? Here definitely gonna be re-render console.log. What's it? Expensive component is being re-rendered. Okay, and then I'm going to have a console.log here. I missed some steps. Okay, compute value is calculated. Okay, because every time I make a call, it's going to generate a new one. Okay, so now let's take a look at it here. Okay, so it's being rendered when I number +1. See here, number +1. Okay, why doesn't it work? Number. Oh, they said it can't. My bad. Okay, set a number. Okay, guys, take a look at it here. When I +1, it makes sense to have the values being recalculated, right? Is this a good example? But when I plus this one, it should not. See here, it should not. So this one can be solved using what? This one can be solved is because when I make a parent change, it won't make a change in the child, right? This can be solved using what? Oh, I put it in wrong place. This can be solved using memo. Okay, I think I put it in wrong place. Export default memo. There's no need to have two components. Doesn't matter. Okay, which is expensive component. The example I gave here. Let me see one more time. Okay. So here it's being re-rendered, calculated again. This is the initial rendering. Yes, good. When I count, it's not being triggered. Okay, but when I do this one, it definitely need to recalculate, right? The problem is what? The problem I put it in wrong place. I'm sorry. Okay, so here the problem should be what? I don't need to do this one. The problem is here. Suppose I don't put this count inside here. I put this count inside my expensive component. Okay, use state, and I put this two count inside here. Inside here, and here gonna have error. I just do like this one. I just need to have use one component. There's no need for two components. My bad. Okay. So the main thing is inside these expensive components. So take a look at here. So now my count is inside where? My count is inside the expensive components. Okay. inside expensive component. So here, when I make change on the set number, because it's being used to calculate what? It's being used to calculate the number. So we have to recalculate the value, right? So because it's being used, okay, the number is being used, we should be recalculate because the value going to be changed, okay? But now, if I change the count +1, which is I +1 on this count, I should not regenerate the value. Let's see, okay? I will do is this one +1. See here, computer value is calculated again. See here, +1, calculate again. This is not necessary. Why? Because I'm not making any change inside the number. Okay, see here. When the browser, when the React trying to re-render for our expensive component +1. It's not necessary to do what? It's not necessary to recalculate the expensive component. It's not necessary. Suppose I do +1, okay, it has a value, but when I count 1, it still recalculate the value every time. See here. This is expensive course, and it's not necessary. So how to solve problem? And this one is a value, okay? This one is a value, which is a general value. You cannot use callback. Use callback is to generate, is to memorize the function. It's not to memorize the value. So we have to use a memo. This one shouldn't be the behavior, okay? How to use memo? We have to use memo is a hook, and you give the function here, and which you return the computed value, and you have also a dependency, okay? And you will return memoized value. This memoized value is a result of computation. We will memorize the computation, a function that computes the value to be memoized, which is the function here to memorize the value you want. This is an array of dependency. The computation will only be executed if any of these dependencies changes, okay? So what we're going to do is we just use a memo here. And now let me make a change. I'm going to do, yes, what's the useMemo. Okay, and here we memo what? We memo this value, okay? Computed value. See here, return is what? Return is a value. Okay, then here we depends on what? We depends on this number. So we put a number here. Okay, and here we'll do what? Const memoized. I will also say computed value. Okay, so I'm going to use the same one, but I'm going to comment the previous one. This one, comment. This one. Okay, computed value, and I have a number. Okay, now let's go back here to see. Uncut. What's that? What's that? Okay. Computed value. Oh, because this one will return a value to you, so you don't need to call it again. It's no longer a function. Okay, this one will return a value to you. You don't need to call again. That's the error being seen in here. Okay, computer value is not a function anymore. It's a value. But I still have this log here to see when it's going to be computed again. So here, let's go back. When I click +1. This is computed again. This is the first initial, okay? Then +1, see here. It's not being computed, okay? But our count is being changed. When I plus number 1, it will be computed. Because this is what? This is our number is being changed. Okay, see here, computed. But when I +1, no longer being computed. And you will still see the correct value is being memoized. That is useMemo doing. Okay, make sure you have dependency because our value, this result depends on the number. So whenever the number changes, it's gonna compute again. But if number is not changing, I'm going to reuse the same one. This is a memo. As you can see here, useMemo is remember what? Is remember value, right? And function is what? Function is also a value. So you can use, the thing which use callback can do, you can replace useMemo. But use callback cannot memorize a value like this result is a number. So useMemo can be used as use callback. Use callback cannot be used as useMemo. Okay, so we can do a little bit extension here, which is for this callback here. This one can be also do use callback, which you can do like this way. Const add to do, okay, to do equals, you can also use useMemo. Okay, useMemo gonna do what? Okay, here, and we will do something which here is a to-dos. And as we see, this is a function we want to be used here. So what we return inside here, useMemo, you return what? You return a function. You return a function which is set to do this one. You can do it. And let's try this one, which is I'm going to here. Let's see here, like a counter, right? Add into do, it will trigger to be re-render. But when I +1, it won't trigger. See here, trigger. Okay, add to do, no problem. So because here useMemo will return a value, and the function is a value. That's why it can replace. Okay, to make it shorter, you can also do like this way. Like this way. Okay, also works. So like here, when we add, it's gonna re-render, but when I +1, it won't. Okay, so useMemo can be used to replace callback, but use callback cannot be used inside this situation, because use callback must be return a function, and this one is a value. Okay, so that's it for this video. We covered about useMemo. If you have any question, make a comment. Hopefully I will reply. Okay, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.